to some music revolution.
Some say it's winter, but I'll tell you why. Some say it's winter, we have to try to wild.
Hello folks, this is me DJ Readman of Music Revolution Promotions fame, yes. And the actual website is demandrecordsband.co.uk. I just kept the original name and I might change it at some point. But this radio interview you're about to hear is with Jimmy Allen. Now Jimmy Allen, if you know him or not, I didn't really know him to start with. I knew the band Puddle of Mudd. They're still around. They were actually supporting Soil last October in a full October tour in the UK. Jimmy Allen's actually got his own band now, Against All Will, which is what the interview was about for about 30 minutes, organised by the publicist Yvonne Laughlin in America. Talking about their new album, Rhyme or Reason, and Swept Away, which I'm going to include right after this introduction. And that's then the interview's going to cut into the video a bit, so because I played Swept Away at the time. So it's going to be a lot of footage because that's what I do now, the interviews, as you've probably seen on Globey, whatever I've got put up. I put up as much footage as I can of the band, maybe a few images, but I don't think that'll be necessary this time because there's quite a lot of footage of Against the Will, some music videos which will be intercut. They won't necessarily be in sync with music because there is a bit of music in this interview but not loads, so I'll just be putting in because Jimmy Allen is part of the band. Jimmy Allen is the only one I've spoken to of the band, because the rest of them are you've got Jeff Curran on the vocals, he's the up front guy. Jimmy Allen's kind of to the right or left, depends on the photographs, on guitar. Chelo Diaz, he's a former Soulfly bass player, and Phil Gonya on the drums. Derek Kennedy's, oh yes. So quite a heavy lineup on the band, and I've been talking about that on the interview. This is me over doing the introduction, then you'll see Swept Away video, then the interview. Many thanks for watching Music Revolution Promotions on YouTube.
Something's wrong inside my head. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, Cat? Well,
How are you?
pretty good.
Welcome to Music Wolf Radio.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Not too bad. Yeah, we got the video on, but it doesn't particularly matter 'cause it actually holds. So, that's the new Swept Away single, which is currently going around at the moment on the airplay. Was that the idea to have that specific single out to promote the album?
No, basically we've had a bunch of singles out, and it's kind of, it's the market's kind of now by a singles kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Swept Away is our third single.
Oh, okay. Because I know you got the drug track as well. Was that released beforehand, or have you just got the one track going around to promote the actual album you've got to go at the moment?
Oh yeah, Drug I Need came out, and we're just trying to basically get out there and promote the record and stuff like that.
Because obviously you're in Puddle of Mudd before, and a lot of people might know that, and your fans and stuff. But do you think a lot of people will like this as well as the previous work you've done? Obviously, Against the Woods a bit heavier than Puddle of Mudd. Was that the idea to have a more heavier sound?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I think since I was in Puddle of Mudd and I kind of came up, with that sound that was around then, I kind of tend to kind of write and still kind of keep with what I originally kind of had a concept with.
Yeah. And of course, one thing really interested me was a band lineup. It's like one thing really struck out was the drummer from the Dead Kennedys.
Yeah, it's kind of when you're in LA, I have a lot of friends out there, and they all play. And for certain stuff and everything like that, I mean, we've had members that have played with this band that are just friends of mine that I appreciate them playing on some of our stuff and helping along and stuff like that. But it's a pretty wide spectrum of musicians that have came around Against All Will. I mean, I name off. There's just tons of them. OTEP, Puddle of Mudd. You've got Prong. Marty O'Brien from We Are the Fallen.
Yeah.
Just a lot of people that, I have all songs. I write a lot of songs. I don't always put out a lot of songs.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are really good friends of mine that, always kind of influence me. I look up to them and I like jamming with them and stuff like that. Beyond the band, Cello and Jeff and Steve and stuff.
I was actually wondering how you pronounce cello. I was actually looking down over. I thought, do you pronounce it another way, like the musical instrument? I thought, right, I'm not going to get that wrong.
Yeah, it's Marcello, but
is he
we call him Cello because
is he
he's
like
the man.
Brazilian or
He's
Belgian or something, or is he actually American?
He's Brazilian.
Oh, I thought he was. Yeah, I was just going to say, I didn't think it was an American name.
Yeah. He loves the soccer.
Oh, does he? Well, of course, you said about the Dead Kennedys and Soulfly, which is probably the heaviest sound member out of all of them. And of course, how did you come across Cello? Is he a friend as well? Do you come across him from the band?
Yeah, I mean, it was through Roy from Stone Sour, the drummer for Stone Sour, which is one of our buddies, and he was like, "I got the perfect bass player for you guys," and he hooked us up with Cello, and ever since, it's like he's like a real he's a brother.
Yeah. Because is that the reason why you? Because I was looking on the blogs. You said you finally settled on a lineup in about October 2009. It was there a reason you set on, even though they're friends? Was there a reason why you set on these band members specifically to get was that a reason for the darker sound you wanted?
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. Yeah, because obviously, Dead Kennedys is like, I don't know how long he was in the Dead Kennedys. Obviously, the Dead Kennedys have been going for years, and as you probably know, and of course, Jeff Curran, who's obviously going to be was going to be talking originally. He come from was it seven story drop, I believe it is.
Yeah, they're a band out of Dallas, Texas that. They were pretty good. And
because I was looking on the blog, so I was trying to find the band he was originally in, because on the bios it doesn't say, and I thought, why was there a reason? Was it because he doesn't want to say it or something? And
yeah, some of us are like that. Some we don't admit on the bio. We don't admit some of our previous bands, that were bad. We kind of give away the ones at least we thought were decent.
Yeah, because I never heard of Seven Story Drop. I was like looking around because I was really curious where he come from, because of course Puddle of Mudd, because Puddle of Mudd, Dead Kennedys and Soulfly are really all high profile band names, and I thought they just stand out a mile and a half, But
I think Seven Story Drop was a little new.
Yeah,
it's good. I think it's on iTunes. It's some pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. I think some pretty good stuff. But they were really new.
I managed to listen to them not long before I started my show, and they're pretty good stuff actually. I like to hear new music. That's what the show's all about anyway.
Yeah.
But because when you formed the band, like you said, like October, you finally got the band settled. What was your goal with the band intentionally? Was it like to get the band members sorted first, so to speak? And did you have actually anything written before they come along?
Oh yeah, a lot of the stuff was written. Yeah, before they came along, and that's what it really was kind of. This band's kind of, there's a lot of, like Cello at any minute, he Soulfly might want to have him do something.
Yeah.
And same way with Steve. I know he's out playing with the Dead Kennedys guitar player, East Bay Ray, and I think they're called the Killer Smiles. So it's like this band's kind of, the musicians revolve, but once you come in, you're always welcome in the family. I mean, it's really... it's kind of what we're about, So I mean, some of the songs that were written with a previous singer, a good friend of mine, and he, helped with the vocals on some of the album. Him and Jeff. So it's like everything's a big teamwork, because it's kind of like the music industry now is really messed up, and you kind of got to team up with each other as musicians and kind of. Take a different path.
Right, now, Jimmy, of course I got the album from Yvonne, who has been publicised in the band quite successfully by the looks of it, and of course, obviously, like you said, everybody helps out one way or the other, because obviously you said music industry is a lot different than it used to be, especially with the internet and things. And what song on the album do you want me to play that was kind of the first one the band played together, and you stood down and thought, right, this is the first completed song?
I would have to say Drug I Need.
Okay, well, we'll play that while we're chatting away. If anybody's listening, as they no doubt are, this is DJ Readman on Musical Radio, talking to Jimmy Allen, the founder member of Against All Will, and quite good, I might add. You know, I get a lot of music in this station, of course, got a lot of new stuff, and we play the classics alongside the new stuff, but you know, you come across some good stuff, and this is one song that's really good. The Drug I Need. Well, can be interpreted in a number of ways, but here we go. So with this song, Jimmy, was there any particular like storyline behind this? As I know the Drug I Need, but was there a particular?
Yeah, it's really not actually talking about drugs, but you know, I mean, it's basically was about a girl that I was kind of hanging out with that I couldn't get away from.
Yeah. I like your Les Paul.
Yeah.
Is that the same one in the photograph on Facebook?
No, there's a lot of them around here.
Yeah, I can see that from the background. There's like yeah, I looked because I said I got a Les Paul copy, a black one, and I told you, it's the only guitar I've ever come across that you can hear it not quite loudly without plugging it in. It's like an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely more of a Les Paul guy. I mean, I've got other guitars, but I have lots of these.
Yeah, it's a good shape as well when you're sitting down, because even big acoustic guitars like that one in the background you got. So you know, I can't play myself. I can play 3/4 acoustics, but I can't play full because I can't get my arm around the base of the guitar. It's like, damn.
Oh, really?
I got short arms.
Short.
Well, I'm not sure, but I've got short arms, apparently. I thought, why can't I get my arm around the guitar? I thought, crap.
Yeah, and that's what you kind of do. You find a guitar that fits you.
Yeah.
I mean, some guitars I play, I'm just like, I can't play this thing.
It's just weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a few people in the shout box to see. We've got Yvonne, and we've also got Devs. I don't know if I got that wrong at all.
Cool. Yeah, Yvonne's been really awesome.
Yeah, because she sent me the album a while back, and is obviously trying to schedule things around people, obviously, because you can't.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking about with this music business thing. Is, you know, I mean, people like you, people like Yvonne, that are kind of looking out for the artist. Us with our own record label, we hopefully can get people and steer them in the right direction and not take advantage of it and do it in house, you know.
Because, of course, I said before, a lot of people, obviously you're in Puddle of Mudd videos and you're everywhere on YouTube, and a lot of people are these days with a lot of media going on. What was the reason for leaving Puddle of Mudd? Was it like a personal reason, or did you just want to feel it was time to actually to create your own band, or was it kind of a crossover? Was it like, you sort of like start the band or had the idea while you're in the same band?
Yeah. You know, it's kind of all those things. It's just too much, you know. Yeah. I mean, I'm not in some of the videos. They had a double.
I believe that. Yeah, oh dear. If anybody's got any questions, by the way, in the shout box, let us know. I'm all ears. We're playing the album kind of behind us, and we just played 2 tracks. One's they're kind of promoting the album. I said Yvonne's a publicist, and when did you? Because like a lot of bands, like they like do like a plan where they like record an album and tour and things. And when you had the album together, what was the actual goal afterwards? I know you've obviously done a lot of stuff, Puddle of Mudd, you know how things go. But what was the goal this time with the album? It's 7 tracks, and did you like want to promote it with a few covers when you were gigging or something? What was the plan?
The plan was really, I mean, it was these. I mean, I don't even think we really had the desire to kind of play out. It was more of just like an art experiment. I would just have these songs kind of that, I want to kind of make into something unique or whatever. And it took a while, and but it's more of an art thing. I mean, I don't think anyone in this band has the false hopes that you're going to make $1 billion, so it's kind of like, I think we try to, basically create art, and if people like it and there's demand there, then we need to get out and tour, and play shows and stuff like that. But the album kind of thing was, it was kind of just me kind of wanting to do some songs, and then it turned into be so good that we thought, hell, let's release this.
It's probably obvious to you, Jimmy, as well that you've done a lot over the past like must be at least 15 years, and of course, if you're going to start a new band, or eventually, like you have now with Against Your Will, and you pick the band members you want with friends and things, obviously it does help if you're high profile, as in like bands before, to help. Do you think it helps in a way?
It's kind of a double-edged sword. Yeah. It's a double-edged sword, kind of, because people kind of have preconceived notions when they see those names that we're going to sound like those bands or whatever. But it also helps on one end of the spectrum that you kind of, people know at least you're decent enough that you were in a good band, that when you come and play, that they can go look at you or go watch you or listen to your songs, kind of thing.
Yeah. Because when I saw I played the album and I saw the band members, it's like you said, it's a double-edged sword, but it's kind of pleasing in the way that it sounds heavy enough not to go over the top. Because obviously, like I said, you got the bassist Soulfly. He's been in like a thrash band, and like it could easily have gone. Obviously, you're well balanced songwriter to know when it goes too far, and to balance things out with the production. Obviously, you got a good engineer behind you with a guy behind Korn and stuff. And
it does help having a guy like Tim Harkins. Work. I mean, he went to Berkeley School of Music.
Yeah.
He's better than all of us. So, but I mean, this whole thing's kind of has to do with some sort of restraint. I'm sure Tim had restraint, and I had restraint with the band. I kind of want this band to kind of be, I don't know, a heavy version of Tom Petty. I mean, I just don't want to overdo it. Some of the newer songs we're working on are, pretty heavy. But there's also some that are lighter too. Yeah. So
I think really, there's obviously a lot of stuff at the moment that sounds the same, as you're probably aware from if you got time to listen to stuff on the net at all, with rock, especially rock music. But if people were when they see you or hear the music or hear someone's voice, they're going to remind of previous bands. It's always going to be the same. But you think a lot of fans are going to appreciate the fact that you're decided, okay, you left the band and for whatever reason, and then you can carry on and do something fair enough, a lot different. It's harder, but people are going to appreciate the fact that you haven't gone you haven't gone to a dance act or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But what track you want us to play now, Jimmy? Anything in particular? You got a Discard You and All About You and Nothing Good Anymore. And which track do you want people to hear?
Nothing Good Anymore.
Okay.
It's a good Monday track.
There you go. This is DJ Readman Music World Radio, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. We've been here for a few more minutes with Jimmy. Going to about a 30-minute interview sort of thing. And also, if you know him already from anywhere, it is a former Puddle of Mudd guitarist. He's still a guitarist. He doesn't pick it up for that particular reason. He is a guitarist.
Yeah.
And he's in the band Yvonne's Promotions in the Shoutbox Against the World. Rather good band, I might add, even though I'm talking to the bloke. And it's like, I must admit, I'm not a big fan of everything around on the planet. There's always going to be some rock you just don't like because it sounds so bloody bland. But I listened to this, I thought it's like got that dark edge, just puts it over the edge from for example, it sounds. If anybody's a fan of Nickelback and things like that, it's darker than that. Which I like, actually, and because I'm not a big fan of Nickelback, I must admit. but my wife is.
Oh.
This microphone's that sensitive, I think. But this is Nothing Good Anymore from the Rhyme and Reason album by Against All Will, founded by the guy I'm speaking to, Jimmy Allen, and I really appreciate him talking to us, and a famous guy and all that, with these things. People got egos, but it's just me.
Oh, hey, I'm just a working musician.
There you go. Didn't get it from me. I'm Music Wolf Radio. So how's the day been, Jimmy?
Oh, pretty good. We've just been writing, working on new stuff. We got a couple little LA gigs coming up.
Do you actually have a home recording studio of some kind, or do you have to go to elsewhere in the area to record or just jam?
Well, we got the bass here. I mean, if you can see, this is part of the recording studio in my house. Stars, got vocal rooms and.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's kind of basic. We're it's a good writing studio, but then producers and managers and stuff are going to want you to go to a proper studio.
So, what's going to be the obviously you like music in general, and you don't just obviously a lot of people would think in some cases with bands it's for money and things, and obviously you've got to make a living at a certain degree. And obviously, like I said before, a lot of people can know you from other bands like Puddle of Mudd, and you can't a high-profile band. Not everybody's got the same fortunes, I guess. But what do you want to happen in the next year with Against All Will?
Well, I mean, we've been talking. We've been in negotiations with labels and stuff, and this is on our label, so basically, I'm the president of this label. We're the only band we have, but I mean, I think that within the next year, there's probably going to be a couple more singles coming out, and then probably a full length CD.
Yeah. Because how do you write music? It's obviously you've got something in mind, lyrics and things, and depends what your mood is at the time. You got guitars you play on, and you write stuff down on paper and things like. In terms of this album, how much did you have? Most of it wrote before the members come along, and you discussed it, or how did you go about it with the other guys?
Yeah, I mean, basically, even some of the songs were recorded and done, and basically, I'd have cello or somebody come in and play here, or play there. Me and Tim kind of worked together on other songs I was writing for Puddle of Mudd and stuff, so. I had some of these songs kind of from way back. All these songs, date back 2, 3, 4 years.
It's obviously, obviously you've got a lot of people that and you settle on people you want to work with. Was there I know, I said, Against the Woods, the actual music in general is like a dark edge to it. It's smooth enough to be across the board rock music. It's not going to be like thrash, and a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, it's too bad for my ears" and stuff. And,
I like thrash. Actually, I listen to some pretty heavy stuff, but when I'm writing music, I kind of want to keep it in a range where I want everybody to kind of enjoy it. I hope they do.
Yeah. So how long did you talk with the current band members before they not agreed to what you were all going to do, but obviously come from other areas of punk and rock music, and obviously they agreed on the sound. The sound actually was the sound you've got now. Was that the original idea to have just I would say a dark commercial rock sound? Was that the idea originally, or did you not have that, or did it just develop like that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like darkness, you know. I mean, but I also like fidelity when it comes to music. I don't, I mean, there's some songs that we did demos for that I thought the demos kind of sounded more unique in a weird kind of grungy way. Yeah. But then when you play them in the studio with the nice fidelity, it's kind of like I'd rather listen to this one, So.
And of course, I was on your blogs and I noticed that you played a breast cancer charity gig last year. How did that go?
No, that was really good. You know, I mean, we like doing those kind of gigs where we can kind of give something back to people.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that a lot of bands out there, you know, want to do that, and anytime they can, I think it's a good thing for everyone involved.
Yeah. And have you when you so formed the band, and I said like last October, it says the exact like the date on the blog, and how long was you sat down with the guys before you like started like promoting and obviously got Advantage published? When you did like say like look, we've got all the songs, and now we did you sit down like a meeting, like a board meeting, and say like, you know, how, you know, go through it really? Because obviously there's got to be a point where you want to like say, look, okay, like you got. Did you give yourself a deadline then, or something, or of some kind?
No, not really. I mean, I think we probably all sat down and, you know, smoked a doobie and had some beers and basically said, you know, you need to hit up Facebook. You take care of MySpace.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to do this. Okay, we got to do that. That's kind of how it went, you know. And you know, everybody in the band works really, really hard. I mean, there's a lot of people like Yvonne that, you know, have kind of stood by our side and kind of got us where we're at. This is a very, very grassroots kind of band, and we're very blessed to have, you know, an awesome manager, an awesome team of guys, you know, musicians that, you know, have been there for us and really helped us out. It's a really cool thing. We've been very blessed.
Yeah, because I talked to a lot of bands recently from Canada. Some are coming over, like Clockwise. I interviewed them in January. There's a big promotion going to Liverpool. And a lot of people, like, obviously it depends how long they've been going in music. Like, you've been going for some time now in music, mainly high profile bands. And in terms of all this digital music and the internet, because it's not really that old, about like 12 years, 13 years by now. What's your take on it, Jimmy? Do you think it's like you said like earlier with some else? Does it help a lot, or does it help when you've been like more in the media than other people?
You know, I think with nowadays people are so fickle that I don't really think it matters. I think what really matters now more than a good band is a good song. People go by the song, and you know, it's really what changes your momentum as a band is if you have a good song or not. There's some bands out there that can tour forever, you know, just off their touring fan base, but that's because one, you know, 15 years ago they were popular, you know, so.
Right, Jimmy, we're going to play another track, then we're going to say goodbye, I think, and we're going to, which one did you want to have played now?
Let me see, how about Let Go?
Okay, yep, I will have that. And we'll play this and have a bit more of a chat. Well, many thanks, Jimmy. For talking to us, and I hope it really goes really well. Because obviously, you know, you've got, in my opinion, you've got I wouldn't say more luck on your side than other bands, but you've been in the limelight for some time. And like Puddle of Mudd is probably the most thing. You got the band members have been in high-profile bands themselves, and obviously it's going to help a little bit somewhere on the line. And but hopefully that you have a lot of luck with Against All Will. It's a really good like sound, and you know, it's like, you know, I like it. You know, even though everyone gave me the album, but it's one of those things that I would basically buy, you know, hopefully, because if you got plans to put it on like hard copies and vinyl, or is that like going to be something you're going to leave the publicist to do?
No, I don't think, you know, I don't think we have that kind of opportunity.
But yeah, many thanks, Jimmy, for talking to us on Music Wall Radio, and well, for the opportunity basically, because thanks basically for talking to us on the net on Music Wall Radio.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Well, thank you very much, because obviously, you know, you're quite like, well, I wouldn't say high profile, but, you know, it's sometimes...
Hey, it's good to know somebody over the pond give us some feedback, because I think you're the first, so...
That's cool.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you're doing what you're doing. I appreciate it, and, I wish we could get over there, man. I really do.
Well, actually, I said before about... have you ever heard of International Pop Overthrow?
No.
The guys in the States, he's actually doing them all over the place. I think there's a couple going on at the moment, but the one he does in England is in Liverpool at the Cavern where the Beatles were. He's been doing it for the last... I can't remember how long he's been doing it for, but I think by the memory he's been doing it for at least 5-6 years. He does it every year over here.
Oh, cool.
And he's just started London, because one of the bands that I know of, I've interviewed, Cult No Name, are actually more like soundtrack-based electro music, and he's just started one in London. So the guy's actually the guy lives in I think Chicago. So I actually want to hit him up and give him a contact or something, because he's been doing Liverpool for quite a few years. I didn't realise until I spoke to Claude Kent of Clockwise. They've been over here for the last 4 years.
Oh, okay, cool. If you could forward that information to Vaughn, that'd be killer.
Yeah, do that, because I said that he does. He's done it about 3 states, I think. He's had it in Canada, and he's had it. He actually releases 3 CD compilation as well every year. So
cool.
I don't know like how long he's been doing it for, but he seems to have it well laid out. So it's pretty cool.
Cool, yeah. Forward it to Vaughn, please. Thank you.
No problem. You know, it'd be nice to see you over here.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You got to come hang with us.
Oh, no, definitely. Well, thanks very much, Jimmy, and I'll speak to you later, no doubt.
Okay, thanks, man.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
This is a music revolution.